Before I spoke a word, you were singing over me. You have been so, so good to me. Before I took a breath, you breathed your life in me. You have been so, so kind to me. Oh, the overwhelming, never-ending, reckless love of God. Oh, it chases me down, fights till I'm found, leaves the 99. I couldn't earn it, I don't deserve it, still you give yourself away. Oh, the overwhelming, never-ending, reckless love of God. Yeah, yeah. When I was your foe, still your love fought for me. You have been so, so good to me. I felt no worth, you paid it all for me, yes you did. You have been so, so kind to me. Oh, the overwhelming, never-ending, reckless love of God. Oh, it chases me down, fights till I'm found, leaves the 99. I couldn't earn it, I don't deserve it, still you give yourself away. Oh, the overwhelming, never-ending, reckless love of God. Yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. There's no shadow you won't light up, mountain you won't climb up, coming after me. There's no wall you won't kick down, lie you won't tear down, coming after me. Yeah. There's no shadow you won't light up, mountain you won't climb up, coming after me. There's no wall you won't kick down, lie you won't tear down, coming after me. There's no shadow you won't light up, mountain you won't climb up, coming after me. There's no wall you won't kick down, lie you won't tear down, coming after me. Come on. There's no shadow you won't light up, mountain you won't climb up, coming after me. Yeah. There's no wall you won't kick down, lie you won't tear down, coming after me. Oh, the overwhelming, never-ending, reckless love of God. Oh, it chases me down, fights till I'm found, leaves the 99.
Hey everyone, my name is Ryan. I'm the lead pastor of our Huntington campus, and with me today I have two of our worship leaders from New Heights Collective. We have Mr. Nick and Mr. Baker. Nick is at our Milton campus, and Baker serves as a worship leader at our Taze Valley campus. And today we are doing our very first installment of Live from the Loft. So what's y'all's vision for Live from the Loft?
Well, I would say the vision for Live from the Loft is to take these songs that we sing in our church and just kind of like explain the meanings of them. Because I think it's important that if we're singing these songs in our church, the truth about God, I think we need to know what we're singing about. So I think that's one of the things why we wanted to start this Live from the Loft and to just bring excitement about the songs that we're singing about.
Each month we add a song, and so every time we add a new song in each month, we're going to do one of these to describe and kind of play through and talk about the song that we're adding, so that either from the theological side or from the worship leader perspective of the songs we're adding, the church knows why we're adding them as well.
Yeah, and I would even say I think it helps prepare our hearts for the song in the church.
Yeah. For our very first Live from the Loft, we're going to be talking about the ever so controversial but ever so awesome song, Reckless Love, by
awesome.
Corey Asbury. Let's talk about the song musically for just a second. I'm stoked for this song. You got a 6/8 power ballad with the syncopation in the background with the band. Just from a musical standpoint, like, is your all's band's excited for this song? You think
Very
it's going
excited.
to go over well?
Very. Yeah, I think every single team on the collective at all three campuses is super excited to start doing this song. Everyone for the last few months say, hey, when are we going to do Reckless Love?
Right.
Soon. We'll get there.
So the construction of the song is amazing. Like, verse 1 is all about God's creation. Verse 2 talks about how God's love pursues us, and then the bridge kind of just summarizes both of those. The construction of the song is just pure genius.
I love it.
So now let's talk about the theological side, which is the more controversial. So let's just throw the question out there. Is God's love truly reckless? So whenever you think of the word reckless, what comes to mind? Reckless. For me,
Insane.
It's
Like,
reckless
I think
driving.
of it.
Like, it's like
Off the wall.
without care almost.
without care, without any thought, without any action, you just do whatever.
Off the wall.
And so how in the world is Corey translating God's love as reckless?
The first thing that comes to mind is just him dying on the cross for us, for sinners that do not deserve it. I think it's pretty reckless. God sent him to die.
Right.
That's pretty reckless. I don't know. What do you got, Baker?
Well, just thinking about the bridge in the song, it says, there's no shadow you won't light up, mountain you won't climb up, coming after me. And then if you can bring that together with the chorus, it doesn't make sense, because you say, how is God's love reckless? I can't earn this. I don't deserve this. Mm-hmm. But yet you're still going to climb up these mountains and light up the shadows and still come after me? That doesn't make sense.
Right.
That's what makes it reckless, because he shouldn't be wanting to do this, but he desires that relationship.
That's a great point. It should make us feel like God's love for us should make us feel like scratching our head, like, what?
Right.
Like,
Yes.
why?
So from a biblical standpoint, the text for this song comes from Luke chapter 15. It's the parables that Jesus talked about. And so there's 3 parables that Jesus explains. You got the parable of the lost sheep, the lost coin, and the lost son. And so whenever you think of Jesus' parables, the term reckless comes to mind. So let's go with the first one. Let's go with the lost coin. You got the woman who has 10 coins. She loses one. What does she do to the house? She turns it upside down trying to find this one coin.
Yeah.
Moving on to the next parable is the lost sheep, which is actually one of the lyrics in here. The shepherd has 100 sheep. One goes away. What does the shepherd do?
Goes and gets it.
It's stupid to leave all 99, right?
Yeah.
But why did he go after
It's
the
a
one?
risk, too.
It's a risk. And then you got the coin, you have the sheep, and you have obviously the son. The son goes away, does whatever he wants, gets away from the love of the father, but then he comes back. Just the fact of the matter, the risk that the father took to bring the son back into his home is reckless.
It is.
So what I love is Corey's quote. He wrote this on his Facebook page. He says, "When I use the phrase the reckless love of God, I am not saying that God himself is reckless, because we know God is a God of order. He is not reckless. Yeah. He goes on, I am, however, saying that the way he loves is in many regards quite so. What I mean is this: he is utterly unconcerned with the consequences of his actions, with no regard to his own safety, comfort, or well-being. His love isn't crafty or slick. It is not cunning or shrewd. In fact, all things considered, it is quite childlike, and I might even suggest sometimes downright ridiculous.
Yeah, I love that. It just like opens up your eyes to what he's trying to speak in the song, and he's not concerned. Like, I love that. Like, our God is not concerned about death. Like, he wants to die. It's a reckless way to die for us.
All right, so as we wind this down, what is your prayer for this song over the people of New Heights Church? Like, what do you want New Heights Church to see and grasp and feel when this song is played?
Well, I want our church to see the reckless love that God had for them and bring them to their knees and to worship God, and feeling that being so undeserved, that God is so worthy to be praised for the reckless love that he has shown us when we didn't deserve it, or like we didn't earn it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just come back to the bridge every time, because that's one of the parts of the song that's the most powerful to me. So that I think that our church needs to just have that relationship in that moment, knowing that there's nothing that we can do that will separate us from God. He will be there chasing us down and finding us, and no matter what we're doing, because he will always be there to guide us, to comfort us, and to lead us. And I think that's just the most powerful thing, knowing that there's no shadow, there's no wall, there's no mountain, nothing that can come in between us and God. He will be there for us, and he will chase us down all the time.
It's reckless.
It's reckless.
Yeah.